Hi, my name is Claudia and welcome to Chat GLP. Please note, I am not a doctor and this is not medical advice. In this video, I wanted to start laying down the foundation for future conversations. First, I want to address that obesity is a disease and it's not your fault. The American Medical Association recognized obesity as a disease since 2013. In her book, Weightless, Dr. Rocio Salas Whalen addresses this as well in her experience in treating many patients over many years with the disease of obesity and how she found that everybody that walked through her office was somebody who had been trying, somebody, most of them from very young age, doing so much work to control something that was a disease. I want to start by sharing some of the things that I found fascinating from her book. She talks about factors that go beyond calories in and calories out. She talks about our genetics and how our genetics are the blueprint of how our bodies respond to food, hunger signals, and fat storage, and how genes can affect our metabolism at rest and if we feel full easily or not. She also talks about epigenetics, basically how our environment can affect us. These environmental factors can be, for example, some of the things that can affect obesity in the future of a child can be the parental weight and diet before conception. This can affect and determine the weight of the child in the future. Also, stress and excessive weight gain during pregnancy. Also, early childhood diet, a diet that may be full of processed foods that can affect it, transgenerational trauma and stress exposure. These are just some of the things mentioned in her book that affect the disease of obesity. We are using GLP medications to manage the disease. I can share about my own experience with GLP medications. The first couple of weeks that I tried the medications, GLP medications, I noticed a very beautiful thing, which was freedom from thinking about food, freedom from excessive hunger. Not completely, because it took a while to get to the correct dosage, and I did have to get to the maximum dosage of terzepatide, but I did eventually get there. So, what this medication has done for me is what I consider a tremendous value. This is such an emotional issue for me that it's really hard to put into words, but I will do my best. Being on these medications has supported me in my journey to lose weight. I'm able to feel full much faster than before. I'm able to go through most of the day without thinking about food, hardly at all, or as the medication gets to its weaning phase of day 5, 6, and 7, I may start to think more about food then. But on the first initial 1 to day 4, the appetite suppression and the food noise management and the ability to feel full and satisfied easily has given me tremendous joy, happiness, and the feeling of freedom and liberation from something I could never control on my own. As I have mentioned in other videos, I have lost weight several times, but I was not able to keep it off. Before I started GLP medications, I had already started to do some intermittent fasting and I had lost some weight. But of course, as soon as I stopped doing the intermittent fasting, some of the weight came back. I have lost since 2024. I'm down 54 pounds from my heaviest. And since I started GLP medications in June of 2025, I'm down a total of about 28 pounds. So that's the total together, a total of 54 pounds. And even though it has only been 28 pounds on GLP, what this medication has done is to keep me from gaining the weight back. I started this last journey in 2024. By now, a year and a half later, almost 2 years, in every other attempt I have ever done to control this issue of hunger, tremendous appetite, food noise that I didn't even know was a thing back years ago. I barely learned that term last year. But I wanted to control my weight, and it was just something I was not able to do. Even when I worked so hard to lose 20, 30, and even 40 pounds several times, the weight would come back. The appetite would come back. The cravings would come back. The inability to stay consistent with behavior or diet or calorie counting was so time consuming. It required so much energy, so much work. And even when I did the work, the weight would come back. This medication has helped me to be now successfully keeping off 54 pounds. And I still continue towards my goal. But this is what I like and I appreciate from this medication. When I do the work, the effort, the management of looking into the calories, protein, fiber intake, and staying on top of exercise, sleep hygiene, etc., hydration. It is all still work. However, I'm not afraid anymore of gaining the weight back. I know that this is a disease and I'm taking the medication to manage the disease. And everything I do now is to support the work of working together with the medication. I do the work of planning and implementing a meal plan, staying consistent with that meal plan, staying consistent with the hydration and exercise, and continuing to learn from doctors, from specialists in obesity, so that I can continue to assure my success in managing this disease. But we have to start at the very basic, to me, the very basic concept of understanding that this is a disease and nobody that has the disease said, I want to have this disease. I want to have excess weight. I want to have inflammation in my knees and have difficulty getting around. If this is you, please note it is not your fault. And I will continue to say this. Obesity is a disease. It is not your fault. Please know that you are not alone. There are many of us that have suffered with this disease. And like Dr. Rocio says, it may take 1 or 2 generations to get society to come around. But until they do, we will push forward. We will continue to educate each other and continue to share the wonderful benefits of taking medications to manage this disease. I want to also share that one of my goals in these videos are to help you not feel alone and to encourage you to have these conversations with your doctor. Don't be afraid. and continue to seek out help for this disease until you get it and until you are successful. Sending you lots of love. Thank you for listening. Please remember to like and subscribe.